Assalamu alaikum. Inshallah, you're well. So, today I'm going to talk about which accountancy qualification type you should pursue. Is it management accountancy or is it chartered accountancy? And inshallah, in this video, I'll be able to explain why it's a clear cut choice, in my opinion. So, if you have any feedback or any questions, please feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram. Let's get straight into it. So I'm going to talk about the differences between the chartered and management accountancy qualifications to help you decide which one you wish to pursue. So firstly, we're just going to summarize what's required to obtain each qualification. Now, as part of chartered accountancy, you should know that there are three main qualifications, and that's the ACA, ACCA, and ICAS. Now, there is also a fourth qualification called SIPFA, but as it's not as popular, we're going to leave that one out. And in terms of management accountancy, there's one core qualification called the CIMA qualification. Now, as you can see, you require a mixture of exams and work experience to obtain each qualification. And what I want to make clear is that there's nothing on this slide that you should use to determine which qualification you want to pursue. So I don't want anyone thinking, oh, there's 12 exams to do as part of CIMA, less than the other qualifications, so that's the one I'm going to pursue. This is purely as a comparative, and equally, I don't want anyone to think that 450 days will take you less than 3 years to accumulate, so if you do the ACA or the ICAS qualifications, that will result in you qualifying quicker. It doesn't work like that because the 450 days only includes relevant work experience, so it doesn't include time spent in college, weekends or holidays. In reality, it will take you about 3 years to obtain that experience, and most ACA and ICAS training contracts for graduates at least are 3 years, and for school leavers are 5 years. So just because you do the ACA or the ICAS qualifications doesn't mean that you will get qualified quicker. Just quickly on exemptions. So if you study a relevant degree at university such as accountancy and finance, you may be entitled to receive exemptions from these four qualifications depending on the modules that you took. Okay, and I want to make clear that this is the maximum number of exemptions. So just because you study accounting at finance at university does not mean that you will get the maximum 12 exemptions from the ACA as an example. In my experience, the best way to get the maximum exemptions is if you study an accredited degree at university. So this is where the accountancy bodies such as the ACCA have partnered with a university to offer an accredited degree which gives you the most number of exemptions. So if you've decided that you want to go to university and have no doubts whatsoever, I would recommend that you visit the accountancy body's websites and see if they have a strategic partnership with the university. Then inshallah you can apply for that university knowing that you will be entitled to the most number of exemptions. I do want to stress, however, that taking exemptions is entirely optional. So you may decide actually you've studied for this accredited degree, but you're not going to take any exemptions from the ACCA, ACA, ICAS or CIMA qualification. Now at first glance that sounds really silly, right? Why wouldn't you do that? Because that means you sit more exams. However, it is very likely that if you take those exemptions, your training employer will not send you to college for the exams that you're exempt from. So you may find that when it comes to sitting your final exams, which may be 2 to 3 years into your training contract, you've actually forgotten a lot of the knowledge that you built up at university. And at the final stage, this is all assumed knowledge. So that's why it may be better to avoid taking those exemptions. So it's the information on this slide that will now help you decide whether you want to pursue chartered or management accountancy. So firstly, as part of chartered accountancy, you study for a broader syllabus. So you will study for a wide range of areas in finance, which will include tax and assurance. Whereas in management accountancy, the focus is on management accounting only. And what that means is it does limit your career options as such. So in management accountancy, you only work in industry, right? So that includes companies in the FTSE 100, Fortune 100, whereas if you study for a chartered accountancy qualification, you can work in both industry and practice. When I say practice, I mean organizations such as the Big Four or top 10 who provide accountancy-related services to companies. And this will include tax and assurance services. So therefore, you won't really find any practice firm who offers CIMA training contracts. They all offer chartered accountancy contracts. And say later on you want to pursue further study. So you may want to study for the CTA qualification, which makes you a chartered tax advisor. If you study for one of the chartered accountancy qualifications, you will get a greater recognition for this. So you will get one more exemption than if you apply with your management accountancy qualification. So all in all, it's pretty clear that I prefer chartered accountancy over management accountancy. And the biggest reason for that is because as a chartered accountant, you are keeping your options open. So it doesn't matter whether you want to work in industry or eventually go and open your own practice and offer tax and assurance services to clients. You can do that if you study for a chartered qualification. Whereas if you study for a management qualification, you are limited to working in industry. Now you may be thinking, Fazan, that's absolutely fine. You know, I want to work for a company, I want to progress onto CFO, and I'm happy to end my career at a particular company, right? So I'm happy to study the CIMA qualification. Yes, so at this stage, that may be right. But remember, perspective can change. So alhamdulillah, when I started my school leaver journey, I wanted to be, one of the youngest ever CFOs. But as soon as I qualified, I realized that's not what I want anymore. In a few years, your career plans might change, where you might be sick and tired of working for a company and think, right, now I want to work for myself. But actually, with the CIMA qualification, your options are limited. So that may not be possible. So inshallah, my biggest advice is, why limit your options? Inshallah, keep them as wide open as possible. And I do want to make it clear, this does not mean that the CIMA qualification is undervalued or it's not worth its weight. It's definitely a highly respected qualification and it will get you far. But as I've explained in the video, inshallah, I do think that chartered accountancy is better than management accountancy. Inshallah, you found this video useful. And as always, please do share the channel with others. Encourage them to subscribe, like, and watch my videos. I really, really do appreciate the support.